Hello, hello, and good morning. And you're very welcome to my Monday messages. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rebecca. I'm a homeopath, I'm a QTT practitioner, a holistic life coach, and natural health advocate. And I just pop in here on a Monday just to share a thought, a tip, or tips. Anything really that can help stimulate us to become more conscious of the things that or behaviours that are serving us and the behaviours that are perhaps keeping us stuck in some way. So today I wondered whether any of you were familiar with that feeling of wanting to do something, part of you knowing that it is absolutely the right next step to take, and the other part of you seeming to want the exact opposite. And that conflict within us, that sense of conflict, creating a stuckness, because the two parts of us are so involved in disputing with each other, and we're listening to both voices, that we actually don't really achieve anything. And good morning to those of you who are joining me live. You're very, very welcome. Do pop any questions or comments in the comments below, and if you're watching on replay, then please do the same and I'll get back to you. So yeah, that sense of inner conflict when we're kind of stuck and not much is happening because we're undecided or feeling undecided. At the moment, with this beautiful, beautiful weather, I'm very aware of two parts of me that come out to play almost daily, actually. And years ago, there would have been a terrible conflict between those two parts. The first part is that part of me that says, get outside, go with the flow, enjoy the sun, enjoy the good weather, spoil yourself, you deserve it, never mind about anything else, doesn't matter. And the other part, the more responsible part, maybe you might say, depending on your perspective on life, that it comes out and says, listen, you've got work to do. You've got work that you've already identified is going to really support you, is worth doing, and you can't just leave it. You need to put your head down and get on with it. The sun will come again. And in the past, those two parts would have created a situation for me where there were kind of three different outcomes. What the first one would be, I can't listen to either of you, so actually I'll do something completely different that doesn't really help me in either way. So I won't get my work done and I won't go out in the sun. Or I would listen to the go out in the sun part, and I would go out, but I would spend the whole day feeling guilty for not being inside and working. Or I would listen to the work part and feel resentful and, like I was missing out. So now, because I'm very conscious of the fact that both these parts have really valuable skills, and they are skills that I need and I want to keep, and that if they work together, because ultimately, actually, both parts want the same thing for me. They both want me to feel happy, free to choose, healthy, that I'm caring for myself. And both those parts want that ultimately, but they're going about it in very different ways. But they both have skills. So if they can work together, if I just let them have a quick conversation and recognise that actually they both have value, and that if they work together, then they will achieve what they both want to achieve ultimately, which is the same thing. And I can have a bit of both. And that's exactly what's happening, I'm pleased to recount. So what I'm doing is just tweaking my daily routine so that I can do both. So I'm getting up slightly earlier. I'm more or less committing to working the work that I have to do inside. I'm doing that in the mornings. So by the time the afternoon comes, then I can feel free to go off and have a swim or whatever it is, or sit outside in the garden, or do whatever creative work, writing work or anything that can be done outside. That can be done outside. Happy days. Then I get both skill sets, and I get the same outcome. I do feel happy and free to choose, and that I'm caring for myself. And I don't feel those old feelings of resentment or guilt, which is very important, because that vibration is not a nice vibration to be in. Okay, so I just wanted to remind us all that we are all made up of hundreds of these little mini aspects of ourselves. And they've all been created over the years from way back in order to help us navigate certain situations or circumstances, and also to protect us always, and to help us to feel fulfilled in some area in our lives. So whether that is ultimately to help us to feel safe, or to feel a bit of variety and excitement, a bit of creativity, or whether it's to feel significant or heard, that we have a voice, or that we are loved or connected to others, then one of those things will be ultimately what each part of us is seeking to fulfill. And very, very often you'll have two parts that may be doing behaviour that seems opposite, but actually, if you keep asking good questions and work upwards, then it turns out that they're both after the same thing. Because ultimately, it's the feelings that drive all our behaviour. And when we get to what those feelings are, they're the same. They're the same, but we just do different behaviours. Different parts of us want to do different things in order to achieve that wholeness, and that sense of happiness or freedom or love or safety or whatever it is. So I wanted to encourage you today to become aware of your own little mini aspects, and become familiar with the ones that come out most, and the ones that may be serving you well in some aspect, and also when they stop serving you well and they can become a bit of a hindrance. So I'm going to go through a couple of points to help you do that. And just to actually help explain that, my own background as a TV producer, I many times had to act as a kind of referee, a kind of facilitator, if you like, for the different skill sets within a production, because there are many, many different skill sets needed for a whole production. And in particular, I'm thinking of the art department, the creatives, and the money men, or money men, weren't always men, money people, and the people who were paying for it, basically. And often they would be at loggerheads. They would spend days sometimes arguing about how something should be done, or what it cost, or all of that, and losing valuable production time. And it was my job as producer to actually get them as quickly as possible to recognise each other's skills, and to be able to work together for the common goal, the common goal, which it was the best possible production that they both could possibly work towards. So in the creatives viewpoint, obviously they wanted to create groundbreaking, visually stunning, beautiful work, or, intensely creative work, which involved risk-taking and experimentation and money, mostly. And the money people, of course, often their perspective was, well,